I just happened to slip on ice and I fell and I had a really dramatic fall and like I injured my back. That injury wasn't treated fast enough, and from there I developed this thing called fibromyalgia, which is an autoimmune disease. Disorder, which means like pretty much like my body attacks itself. I took a really big step back and I was stuck in a box for years, which is pretty much my room because I couldn't do much. Pre-COVID was really bad for me. 2017, I was working at Starbucks and I just happened to slip on ice and I fell and I had a really dramatic fall and like I injured my back. That injury wasn't treated fast enough, and from there I developed this thing called fibromyalgia, which is an autoimmune disease. Disorder, which means like pretty much like my body attacks itself, and how do I say it? Like I feel exaggerated pain. So for a long time, I was getting like the worst of it. So I would be like really irritated and they were giving me like a whole bunch of different medications and like some of them were causing me anxiety, other ones were like giving me like even worse side effects, and so I had a rough time and I became the worst. I like hit rock bottom and I just hated myself. Everything that I worked so hard for, it just went down the toilet. Like I thought I had like finally reached enlightenment and like I was like getting better and like, you know, being the best me, self-servient and just like everything, and then like that goes and ruins everything. And so that like I took a really big step back and I was stuck in a box for years, which is pretty much my room because I couldn't do much, just in bed or like just crying because I was always in pain, because the fibromyalgia, it affects like my joints, my muscles, my bones. And so when I'm telling you like I'm 25 and I was already like, damn, I feel like I'm 80, like I'm serious. Yeah, so I went through a rough patch and like I was so mean. I was the meanest. And I've never recognized like that side of me because I've always tried to control my emotions. I'm the type of person that likes to be in control of my emotions and my body. So that was like a game changer for me, and I had to start from scratch, and I had to repiece myself, and that was really hard because it's like I knew who I was and then it just kind of like blurred out and I'm just like, well, who am I now? Because everything is like affecting me, everything is making me feel horrible, like I'm like less than or whatever. So it took me a long time to get back to a place where I could feel better about myself and more confident, because I just lost that confidence and that social, you know, like being able to speak to people socially, and even more so when COVID came around. When COVID hit in 2019, I was still going through it. And then like other people started feeling sick and started going through like similar stuff. And I was like, oh shoot, like I hope I didn't wish this onto the world. Now everybody's suffering with me. Everybody's going through the same thing that I'm going through. And that's when it clicked in my head. Like, oh my gosh, I had a head start. And now if all these people recover before me and they're going through the same thing that I'm going through, then I'm just like wallowing in my pity. Like I need to do something about this. And so I'm like, okay, so I started trying to like actually reach my doctors and like trying to like wake up every morning and try to like stretch and like try to get better pillows and try to like get things to massage myself and like take care of myself, because it's like nobody besides my parents were a big help and they always took care of me when I was sick. But besides them, like who is going to take care of me in the long run? Like, I cannot be depending on other people. Like, I've always been self-sufficient, self-independent, and, like, that's not going to change. And you can't depend on your future partner or, like, whoever to, like, take care of you, because it has to come from within. You have to have the inspiration, the motivation, the will, the discipline. And mainly I would write myself little notes every day. I would talk to myself in the mirror every day. I was, like, my own coach. And I try to remember not to be so hard on myself and like try to admire like my faults and remember that like nobody knows me. Like why am I worried? I'm not famous. I don't have influence over people. Like, I'm just me, and living authentically is what I choose over trying to live this fairy tale life that I know that I can't achieve, unless I try. So I'm like, I don't want to live like this. Like, I'm already tired of feeling like I'm crippled. I'm always calling myself crippled, by the way, because for a while I would walk with the cane. It was that bad. But yeah, I'm just like, I don't want to see myself in that way. And I noticed, and I know that other people, they don't see me in that way either. They're like, you have such a long life to live. You'll bounce back. And I want to believe that that's true. And I want to get back to playing soccer and doing half marathons, because I used to do that. And like, just doing all these fun things and activities with the lower half of my body while I still have functionality. Like, I want to do it all. So I'm really like, I want to say goal oriented. But I have a lot of dreams, and I just try to make the most out of it. And I want to, like, I really don't want to pine on like all of my hardships and all of the sad things in my life, because I'll go onto TikTok or I'll go onto Instagram, and then I'll see a guy in a wheelchair freaking doing pull-ups, and I'm like, oh my God, like, seriously, like, that's sick. Like, why am I upset? Like, if he can do it, then I need to bust ass. Like, so that's like my mentality.